What's up, gang? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, DJ Afrosia. We are back again with a gear review. It is November. We're close to the holidays, and I am so excited to share with you guys some awesome products that have been sent to me to test simply, which is crazy. Lil me, never thought that my opinion on a product would matter, but POP holds it down. I really much appreciate the collaborators and the partners who've hopped on and tapped on me this season and said, hey girl, we want to know what you think. What you think about it? What do you think? A couple months back, I introduced to you guys the world's first DJ wireless headphone, the AIAIAI TMA-2 DJ wireless headphone. And y'all, I've been playing with this thing for about 5 or 6 months, and I'm excited to kind of give you guys an update on what that's been like. But most importantly, we have something to put it up against, okay? We got its competitor, the one and only OneOdio's Studio Max 1 DJ wireless headphones, all right? Give it up. First and foremost, give it up. Never in a million years did I think DJing wirelessly would actually be a capability, but something that would be discussed and actually put into motion. But yet, here we are. Thank you so much for sending me this product to test and put up neck and neck up against AIAIAI's TMA-2s. We got a lot to get into, but first and foremost, if you haven't already, click like, subscribe, and if you haven't, you should probably go check out my original video with the AIAIAI TMA-2s. If you're looking for a more in-depth review on this product, this video is mostly going to be focused on this and the pros and cons of both. We're going to put it up neck and neck with the AIAIAI wireless TMA-2s. Neck and neck, right out of the box, what they're like. Then for the next week, your girl's going to go on a mission from God. Sorry guys, that was a little too serious. I'm basically gonna go on a mission for 1 week and test these out and see what it's like to use them on a day-to-day basis. Between doing a live gig, sitting here at home, practicing and rehearsing, or even out and about on the go, just doing, you know, typical clerical crate digging and cleaning and all that fun stuff. I'm gonna come back here a week later. I'm gonna sit down with you guys. We're gonna really lock in eye to eye. And we're gonna compare and contrast everything from feel, from sound, to battery life, to latency, and all the above. So buckle up, buttercup, and prepare to get into the nitty gritty of the world of DJing wirelessly. All right, gang, straight out the box, okay? My initial thoughts when I opened the box was, damn, these are some big ass headphones. I immediately had to whip out the TMA-2s and do a side-by-side comparison. And as you can see on the left, slightly bigger, but they got 90-degree rotation, which I think is pretty tight. I had to then immediately go over to the TMA-2s just to sadly show they don't have that. The OneOdios are adjustable and foldable, which means they're easy to carry and kind of imitate a traditional headphone. Whereas the TMA-2s are adjustable and removable, aka replaceable. So I think that covers 3 bases, which is pretty rad. All right, stepping over to the OneOdios, we are looking at button controls, starting off with the function/mode switch button, also known as B. This button will let you cipher through the 2 modes that are available, which is low latency mode and also Bluetooth mode. The next function is pretty self-explanatory. It is the volume down/previous track. Volume down is 1 click, previous track is 2 clicks. The multi-function button is used to power on and power off the device, but it's also used to play and pause tracks you're listening to, either in the aux mode or in the Bluetooth mode. Last but not least, we have the volume up/next track button. If you look at the button controls on the TMA-2 and compare it to the OneOdio, it's 1 button. It's a joystick. That's kind of the comparison. You've got 1 button that kind of does it all over here. Now looking at the bottom, the bass and the inputs on the OneOdio, We've got the traditional Type-C charging port. We have a 6.35 millimeter interface. And then we have a 3.5 millimeter aux interface. Switching over to the TMA-2s, we've got the 3.5 millimeter aux interface, and then we just got the Type-C charging port. Looking at the transmitter for the OneOdio, at the top, we've got the charging port / audio port, which appears to be USB-C. Then we've got the 3.5 millimeter aux at the top. The function button on the transmitter, if you press the button, it's what powers on and off the transmitter. I put them side by side to kind of show you a size comparison. One is just a little taller. So diving deeper into the box, we got one user manual. And then this was a surprise, a travel pouch. I've never seen a drawstring sack to hold headphones, but it's pretty cool. It comes with a pocket as well. We put that up against TMA-2. They've got the circle hard shell case, which very helpful for all the things that you got to put inside. A little bit more protection, but those are the cases they come with. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. All right, the OneOdio comes with its own USB Type-C charging cable. All right, as we saw earlier. They have the 3.5 to 6.35 millimeter audio cable. Then it comes with a second cord. Then we have the 3.5 to 3.5 millimeter audio cable. Now, putting it side by side with the TMA-2s, we see that the TMA-2s give us not one, but two wires. They're a little thicky, a little bit more elastic, and they also give you one in a cute color. So 2 wires compared to 1. Now that we've gotten to the build and overall make of each model of headphone, time to get into the features and specs and see how they hold up neck and neck. All right. First, we're going to start off over here with the OneOdio Studio Max 1s. First and foremost, one of the key features is some terminology I've never really heard of. Sounds crazy and insane, but no lie, this is a feature. All right, the Studio Max 1s come in with 120 hours of ultra long battery life. All right, right out the gate, we've got an insane number when it comes to battery life, okay? Other features that come with the Studio Max 1s, they have not 1, not 2, but 4 connectivity modes. The first mode is the DJ wireless mode that you use with the transmitter. Very similar to the TMA-2 wireless over here. The second mode is wired monitoring with the 3.5 millimeter cable. Wired mode with a 6.35 millimeter cable. And last but not least, Bluetooth mode for, easy listening or conference calls, audio calls. And of course, the key feature that you guys have all been waiting for, latency, all right? These bad boys have a connection speed of 20 milliseconds, all right? You can get all those features for $169.99. And since you are a lucky viewer today and you stayed this long in the video, your girl got you for the holiday season with 15% off your very own hair. So you can look on the screen, write down the discount code, or you can check down in the description. You're welcome. Shout out to OneOdio. Okay, now it's time to head on over here to the AIAIAI TMA-2 wireless headphones. Okay, just a reminder, I was sent the original AIAIAI TMA-2 headphones. Then I was sent the S11 X03 upgrade kit. So you may notice a kind of difference. These are not the studio wireless ones, but this is what happens when you get the upgrade kit. Going from the OneOdios over to the AIAIAIs, we're gonna start off with battery life. What I think is very interesting is that their battery life is broken into which mode. The battery life with the transmitter wirelessly, you get 20 hours of battery life. But if you're just using Bluetooth, no transmitter, you get 40. 20 with the transmitter, 40 with the Bluetooth. Now, the TMA-2 comes with 3 connectivity modes. We've got the W+ link, which is just, the regular transmitter connected to your controller or your device. We've got the standard Bluetooth mode, which really brings me to a cool feature. AIAIAI has a mobile app that comes with preset custom EQ options where you can create your own sound profiles and truly personalize your sound. For example, beast mode for the gym, or bass or DJ mode for when you're DJing. Then the third mode is the standard wired DJ mode. Now, these bad boys are coming with a latency of 10 milliseconds. So connection speed of 10 milliseconds compared to 20. Now, when it comes to these over here, the price point is a lot steeper. So we're looking at some $300 headphones right here, okay? So pricey, but if you stick around to my review and my final verdict between the two, I think you will understand that you are definitely paying for what you're getting, all right? After having about a week to test the OneOdio Studio Maxes, I can tell you right now, I can tell the sound difference is very drastically different from the AIAIAIs. So when it came to testing them wired and not wired, of course the OneOdios are gonna have a more stronger, bassy, punchier feel when you are directly connected via wire. So the wired mode was strong, loud, and punchy. And then when I went into the Bluetooth mode, it was also pretty strong and punchy, which I thought was pretty awesome considering we're doing Bluetooth. I like the traditional feel of when you put them on your ear. They're really big, but one thing I noticed, the one thing that I can tell you test-wise is it's a lot more airy between here. These, to me, the TMA-2s have a lot more noise cancellation action, which was kind of hard to get used to as a DJ. That's why I'm a big advocate for the 90-degree rotation so that I can kind of be in and out of where I need to be if I'm live performing. But if I'm headphone mixing in my house and doing a mix, something like this is decent and it's cool, but if you don't like that suction cup feeling, then I think the OneOdios are for you for feel. And if you're one who really likes that big, cushiony, kind of airy, not too noise canceling and isolating, that was my major sound critique when it came to both. What I will say is after doing the wired mode, there was no distortion. It was clearly just night and day difference between audio quality. There was more bass, it was more full, it was more there. For some reason, with the OneOdios, the wireless just cuts it in half. And the same thing happens here with the AIAIAI TMA-2s. And I think that's just the trade-off. Testing them right here using my DDJ REV 7, I didn't have any issues. The Q response was really sharp. No real issues with latency when it comes to these, nor these. So that's a win-win for us. Overall critique for sound and just testing both modes. The only thing I can tell you is I ran into a little distortion when I wanted to kind of crank the volume up in these. You're not going to get full, crazy surround sound in these headphones. They're a lot more airy, a lot less full. These I felt like were a lot more full, a lot more studio, despite me not having the studio wireless, okay? To be honest with you, I personally will always be a sucker for a wired headphone at the end of the day. Not even gonna lie to you, not even gonna bird turd you, as they call it. I had trouble kind of deciphering which one was my favorite, but what I can tell you is when it comes to choosing between both models of headphone, I think you need to think of long-term and your uses, okay? It all depends on customization and preference to me, okay? If you're over here with the OneOdios, you probably bought the OneOdios because you like the price point, you like the traditional headphone, correct? The 90-degree rotation, and you wanted to experience wireless DJing, correct? So someone purchasing something like this, I like the price point. I think all headphones should be between $100 and $200, okay? To be real with you. especially in this world, in this economy. Like, it would be nice to have an affordable, durable pair of headphones. And I think the OneOdios are just that: affordable, durable, and they get the job done. This could be your go-to Bluetooth wireless headphone for everyday use. Phone calls, easy listening, music, Spotify, iTunes, all that right here. But if you're also DJing and want that wireless feel, you can also accomplish this. In my opinion, you are going to be losing some of that audio quality, some of that fullness, some of that bass. Okay, one of my main critiques of the AIAIAI TMA-2s was the lack of bass. But when I'm able to put it up against another headphone that's larger, got a little bit more room between, you know, your ear and the transmitter, I can tell you that these are way, way more punchier and a lot more full than these headphones. But like I told you, some people prefer this design, this feel, and that airflow, if I like to call it that, the airflow and the airiness of their headphone. And then when we go over here, I think with the TMA-2s, you are getting high quality professional sound, but you're also getting customization. For instance, if you go on their website, you'll start to see that they're coming out with new headbands. You know, they have special drops where, you know, a purple headband or something like that. I think these right here are built to last, but also built to accommodate all your preferences as a DJ. If you like a wired connection, you can get them with both. But I think one key thing about the AIAIAI TMA-2s, the wireless that is, I like the customization. I like that it's modular. I like that if my left speaker breaks, I can go buy another one. If I want a purple headband, I can go buy a purple headband, okay? And I also really dig with the sound profile. So over here with the TMA-2s, I think you get a lot more control and customization of like what you want and what your sound is like. Whereas this is more of your traditional headphone. You kind of just get what you get. You get the standard, the headphones are the headphones, but you paid for that. Does that make sense? Over here, you're paying for the ability to replace your parts if needed. So it's kind of like one of those things where, you know how people say that sometimes cheap can be expensive? It's kind of one of those things. If you go out the gate and you want to splurge and treat yourself to a pair of headphones now, this is the way to go. So I said all that to say that I'm not gonna sit up here and say, you should buy this one or you should buy this one. What I'm gonna say is, you should buy what you prefer. You should put the features up against one another, such as I did in this video, and kind of weigh them personally, okay? If you like more punchier sound and you like the ability to replace parts and customize it, this is the unit for you. You're bougie, okay? You like to be able to have it your way, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to still dip into the world of wireless DJing at an affordable price point, I have to give major keys to OneOdio for making that possible, okay? Now, just a quick reminder, you can also get an additional 15% off your very own pair of OneOdio Studio Max 1s. Okay, my treat, but also on OneOdio. I personally believe DJ gear should be affordable. It should never be very expensive. And that's not to put a damper on these, but if you don't have $300 to spare on a pair of headphones, no fear. OneOdio is here, okay? So thank you guys for bearing with me and learning about the world of DJing wirelessly, okay? If you stuck around to the end, you're a real trooper. I hope you check out both models. And if you're eager and anxious and wanna check out either pair, I've got links for both down below. You can get your very own pair of AIAIAI TMA-2s, but also get your own pair of OneOdios, okay? It has been a pleasure to rock with you guys. It has been another gear review with your girl, DJ Afrosia. I wanna thank you guys so much for watching. Like and share if you're interested, and I'm really eager to know your personal opinion with DJing wirelessly. If you've tried either model, I'd love to hear your feedback down below. Are you into DJing wirelessly? Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's lame? Like, I'm down to hear your comments. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up in the comment section as well, or send me a DM, all right? Much love and blessings to you all. I hope you enjoyed this gear review. DJ Afrosia is shutting out. We're out.